LeBron James came back to Cleveland, you the favorites to come out of the East. And you only need 4 wins to win a championship.
You make it
You come out, you come back to Cleveland, you bring the chip back to Cleveland, and you say goodbye. 5-time champion, tie-in Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan and the crew. That ain't happening if you stay in LA, because you ain't coming out.
Stephen A. Smith looked directly at LeBron James and essentially told him it's time to pack it up in Los Angeles. Not to join another super team, not to begin a Hollywood-style farewell tour. Instead, he wants LeBron back in Cleveland immediately. Not next year, not someday, but now. The surprising part is that his argument isn't rooted in emotion alone. It's about respect, legacy, and the way the Los Angeles Lakers have treated LeBron's tenure as just another chapter, rather than recognizing it as a historic era. On First Cake, Stephen A. didn't hesitate or soften his stance. He said it plainly and directly, making it clear that this wasn't speculation or casual commentary. It was a firm belief about what LeBron should do next.
Coming back to Cleveland and winning a championship and then riding off into the sunset would be one of those sports stories.
Can I add this? Can I add this before y'all go on? This is the place where he's beloved.
Beloved, yeah.
When he was on social media doing it feels welcome home. It feels good to be home. And a Laker broadcaster was wearing a Cavaliers jersey, and he was saying proper attire, all this other stuff. We got that going on. But here's the thing. LA, well, that's Kobe, Magic, Kareem, and cats like that. They'll never embrace him like that. Miami, because he left, even though he went to 4 straight finals and delivered back-to-back chips, they'll never embrace him like that. But this place, he is beloved and should be because of what he did for this area, what he did for.
Stephen A. Smith didn't soften his words. He said LeBron made a mistake by staying in Los Angeles this season and should have already returned to Cleveland. This wasn't a casual suggestion. It was direct and deliberate. And coming from someone who has defended LeBron for nearly 2 decades, that shift carries weight. When Stephen A. changes tone like that, people listen. The tension intensified after comments from Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. Her remarks about LeBron's time with the franchise didn't sound particularly appreciative. They felt distant, almost as if the organization were already preparing to move on. Sports media amplified the moment. Debates erupted, and the conversation quickly escalated. But Stephen A. didn't just question the tone, he took it further. Instead of saying the Lakers should show more respect, he essentially told LeBron to leave. At the heart of his argument is championships and legacy. If LeBron wants one more legitimate shot at a title, especially if he's entering the final stretch of his career, Stephen A. believes Cleveland offers a clearer path than Los Angeles right now. Imagine LeBron returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers, joining forces with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. That's not just nostalgia, that's a serious Eastern Conference contender. Add LeBron's back.
I don't hold that against them. I value that championship, but others don't. I'm saying you look at the West; it's loaded. The road to prosperity is hard. It's much easier in the Eastern.
The Lakers feel capped, competitive at times, even dangerous on the right night, but not dominant, not overwhelming, not like a true championship favorite. So here's the real question. Does LeBron chase the storybook ending back where it all began? Or does he stay in Los Angeles and hope one final run somehow clicks into place? That choice doesn't just affect one season. It shapes how this stage of his career is remembered. Look at the Lakers right now. What are they, realistically? A play-in team fighting to avoid the bottom of the bracket. That's not a contender. That's not a serious conference finals threat. It's a middle-tier squad leaning heavily on a 40-year-old superstar to carry the weight every night without a clear title path in sight. Yes, LeBron's numbers remain impressive, efficient, productive, historically consistent. But what does another 25-7-7 season truly mean if it ends with a first-round exit? At this stage, the stats don't redefine greatness. They don't shift the GOAT debate. They don't add a banner. That's the crossroads Stephen A. is pointing to. It's no longer about proving he can still perform. Everyone already knows that. It's about positioning. It's about whether the final chapters of this career are tied to meaningful contention or just admirable production on a team without a realistic title ceiling. Because at this level, legacy isn't built on solid seasons, it's built on titles.
Back to Cleveland, you bring the chip back to Cleveland, and you say goodbye. 5-time champion, tie-in Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan and the crew. That ain't happening if you stay in LA, because you ain't coming out of the West. But you could come out of the East and all you need is 4 games. LeBron James, 4 wins away with whomever you got on your squad. And I'm assuming you keep Donovan Mitchell because God knows you don't want to lose that, brother. I mean, Cleveland with LeBron, you got to give up something for him. I get it. $52.6 million option. You got to give up something. But Cleveland, if LeBron was back in Cleveland, Cleveland is the favorites, and then he would remind people he here to win championships instead of going Hollywood. Because you ain't winning a championship in.
At some point, numbers without banners start to feel hollow. That's where the conversation gets uncomfortable. Not every Lakers fan is desperately pleading for LeBron to stay. Some are fatigued. That energy exists, even if people don't always say it out loud. When LeBron arrived in Los Angeles, he pushed for the franchise to go all in on Anthony Davis. The Lakers shipped out their young core, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart, to make it happen. The move delivered a championship in 2020, and that banner absolutely counts. But since then, the results have been uneven. Early playoff exits, inconsistency, and a massive payroll commitment, over $50 million a year for LeBron, with limited postseason success to justify it. Then came the Bronny situation. The Lakers drafted Bronny James, creating a historic father-son storyline. It was a powerful moment, no doubt, but some fans questioned the basketball logic behind it. Was he fully NBA ready? That's debatable. What isn't debatable is that roster spots in the league are incredibly valuable, especially for a team trying to contend. Critics argued that the decision felt more like legacy theater than pure roster construction.
Look under the hood. The Lakers are a mirage. They're 26-16. But 15 of their 16 losses, they've gotten blown out. They're great in clutch games because they have a really smart head coach, but they're not in that many clutch games. They're horrible defensively. It's a 3-and-D league, and they don't have enough of either. No rim protection, not very athletic. This is a Luka, J.J. Redick, and maybe Austin Reeves franchise going forward.
That pattern can start to wear thin, especially after 7 seasons when the results don't consistently match the noise. Many Lakers fans grew up during the Kobe Bryant era. That meant loyalty, identity, and permanence. One jersey, one franchise. Kobe wasn't searching for the perfect situation, he was the situation. That purple and gold for life mentality carried real weight in Los Angeles. LeBron has spent years with the Lakers, but to some fans, the connection still feels transactional. It can feel like he's LeBron first and a Laker second. He didn't build his legend in Los Angeles, he added another chapter to it there. That distinction matters to a fan base that values legacy tied directly to the franchise. Then there's the influence conversation. Official or not, LeBron has clearly had a voice in personnel decisions. The Russell Westbrook trade stands out as the clearest example. The Lakers gave up depth and draft assets for a big name that never quite fit alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. The chemistry was uneven, the spacing was problematic, and the season unraveled.
1 year, okay? They're planning their future ahead, and you got to understand that you're trying to take some valuable assets, but it's like LeBron ain't a long-term plan. So again, they're not in but so much of a position to be choosy if he wants to leave. It's about him wanting to leave. It's not about you pushing him out. I'm not advocating that the Lakers push him out the door because the kid's got no trade option. I'm saying to you, if he wants to leave.
The farewell tour energy is starting to feel prolonged. Every game is framed as historic, every milestone celebrated like a parade, and every strong performance packaged as proof that Father Time still hasn't caught up. But the reality is simple. Time eventually slows everyone down. The explosiveness isn't quite the same. The defensive consistency isn't either. That doesn't diminish greatness, it just reframes it. In Los Angeles, where success is measured in banners, nostalgia has limits. LeBron remains productive, intelligent, and capable of delivering big performances, but he's no longer single-handedly dragging teams to championships. He's no longer the automatic finals guarantee he once was, and at 41, that's not criticism, it's reality. The issue is pretending he's still the unquestioned centerpiece of a title run when recent results suggest otherwise. Now, flip the lens to Cleveland. From LeBron's perspective, it sounds poetic, a full circle ending, one
LeBron at some point in the next calendar year, and LeBron's never been loyal to teams. This is not a Derek Jeter situation. This is not Magic or Kobe. LeBron's easier to move off. It's been a mutually beneficial relationship. His net worth has almost doubled since he came to LA. He came to LA for basketball, 60%, and business, 40%. I mean, he kept the thing, by about year 2. His net worth is almost double. Net worth. He's expensive. He's not always available. He's not the player he once was. Lakers are so bad defensively, and statistically, they're worse when he's on the floor. So I've said it forever. Really, really confident, successful men are bad at
heavy minute management, inconsistent defensive effort, and a presence so massive that it shifts an entire franchise's orbit. That's what a reunion would really mean. Right now, Donovan Mitchell is the face of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Evan Mobley represents the future. That locker room belongs to their timeline. Bringing LeBron James back would instantly shift the power structure. The real question isn't emotional, it's strategic. Would Cleveland slow its young core's development and limit financial flexibility for a nostalgia-driven run? That's not hate, that's a legitimate front office dilemma. Then there's the money. The Cavs are tight against the cap. Acquiring LeBron's contract without gutting the roster would be extremely difficult. The cleanest scenario would require a buyout from the Los Angeles Lakers, which would mean LeBron walking away from serious money. Be honest, is that realistic? Throughout his career, he has maximized every contract, every extension, and every leverage point. A massive pay cut for sentiment alone seems unlikely. Even if the move somehow happened, would Cleveland become instant favorites? The Boston Celtics remain the most complete roster in the East. The New York Knicks are built for physical playoff basketball. A Cavaliers trio of LeBron, Mitchell, and Mobley would be dangerous, absolutely, but dominant? That's debatable. At this stage, LeBron isn't logging 42 high-intensity minutes nightly or bulldozing through conferences alone. The name is still massive, the IQ is still elite, but the engine isn't what it once was. He's no longer the every-possession alpha. He's more of a complementary superstar, still impactful, still brilliant in stretches, just not the singular force dragging teams to June. From a personal standpoint, staying in Los Angeles may actually make more sense. With the Lakers, he shared the court with Bronny James, creating a historic father-son moment. That's legacy in a different form. Beyond basketball, there's business, production deals, and post-career empire building, all in a city built for it. For a 41-year-old in his 23rd season, that environment isn't irrational, it just doesn't satisfy fans who measure everything in banners. The LA era delivered a championship, and that matters, but it also brought constant roster turnover and instability. Lakers fans, raised on the loyalty and 5-title run of Kobe Bryant, expect sustained dominance. 1 title in 7 seasons